Yeah, what I was saying is the issue I wanted to talk is like this. Black women, stop demanding standards you didn't. Stop demanding standards you didn't introduce to your children. Okay, I cannot believe this mentality so many of you black women have. You cannot demand standards you yourself didn't introduce to your own children. You know what I'm saying? You cannot demand standards and say you demand higher standard from black men. Which black men? 90% of black men in America are raised with a single lady, single black female. Okay, stop demanding standards you yourself did not introduce to your children. You understand me? Majority of you black women talk a lot of rubbish and a lot of nonsense. Stop demanding standards you yourself did not introduce to your children. You did not raise black children with standards. And then when you grow up, you expect a standard you yourself did not introduce to your children. How stupid is that? A lot of you black women, you are too ignorant, and you underestimate your own ignorance. You need to understand what you are raising or what you have raised. Okay, if you raise a mango tree, expect to have mangoes. Don't raise a mango tree and expect to harvest bananas in a mango tree. You raise a thug, expect to date and marry a thug. You must listen to your own guts of what you really are, and stop talking a lot of nonsense. If you look at a lot of black females in America, you raise thugs, gangbangers, and pretty much hood rats, and then you expect to find a gentleman when you raise a thug. It doesn't work like that. Most of you black women surprise me when you talk about how you demand, we demand higher standards. We demand black men to have higher standards. Which higher standards are you talking about? Which higher standard? There is no black man in America who's raising any black son with higher standards in America. You don't have that. A person like look at a person like Obama. Who raised a person like Obama? That's a white woman. 90% of men you like are raised by white females. They're not raised by black women. 90% of men black women like are raised by Caucasian female. So you have to thank a white woman for raising something you like. What you have risen, you raised thug, gangbangers, and pretty much drug dealers and what they call gangbangers, thugs, drug dealers, sluts, whores, pimps, and thugs. That's what you're raising, and then you expect to marry a prince. A lot of you black women, you surprise me sometimes when I look at you. If look at the Bible, I'm not a biblical person. I'm not a Bible. I'm not a religious person. But just listen to the book. It says you reap what you sow. You put a banana tree, expect to harvest a banana. Don't say, well, you put a banana tree and you expect mangoes. Only what you put is what you're going to take out. Don't expect things you did not raise. If you go to school to be a biologist, expect. Don't come out a mathematician, when in reality all you were studying was biology. No one expects you to come out a biologist when you were studying mathematics. You need a lot of black women in America. You're so you're so stupid. You're not just stupid. It's just like because you are beyond ignorant. You're like you're beyond stupid, beyond ignorant. You're like pretty much whether you are educated or not. the level of your IQs is way below, far more below, because you lack a lot of logic and reasoning. You gave birth to a thug, expect to marry a thug. Most of you black women, you look at a lot of black men in America, just look at a lot of black men, 99% of them come from single motherhood families. 99% of black American men come from single motherhood. Who's raising those black men? Single black women. If you are raising a child, you should ask this. You should ask this if you are raising a child. Is the person you are raising good for you? Is the person you have raised at home? Do you expect, if you are raising black boys, would you advise any other black female on the street to date your sons? Are your sons good enough to be dated by other black females? Most of you black women in America, if you look at your sons you are raising at home, you know yourself, like, I think my son is a thug. I think my son is this. I think my son is a gangbang. I think you are raising them yourself independently. No black man is influencing. Pretty much black men are absent completely. So it's even useless to talk about them. So that means if a black man is a thug and all that, they came from you as a thug. They learned it from a young. You failed your job. It doesn't surprise me why a lot of you black men, black female, you raise thugs, then you go into a white woman. What a white woman is raised, that's what you want. If raised, you think you should, in fact, you should be thanking a white woman. So you think, oh, thank God a white woman has raised good males. What about you? Look what you yourself have raised. You have raised thugs, gangbangers, drug dealers, pimps and sluts and whores and hood rats and things. That's what you have raised. That's what you have raised. What do you expect? If you raise a thug, you're not going to expect a doctor, a lawyer, or someone respected, when in reality, you know yourself, especially boys. You know them when they're around 13 or 14. Around 13 or 14. I was in America at the time. A black female had children, I think she had children, I think 14, 15 years. Young black boys. They were fighting with other black boys from another street. And the black female ordered her own sons to go home and take guns and stuff like that. And it was a black woman ordering her own sons and children to go and get guns, so that they go and retaliate to other black boys who were about 400 meters away. She did not think. You could tell how mentally sick this black woman was. You're ordering your son to go get guns so that they go and shoot other black sons. The black sons who are being on the other side are being ordered by their own mothers to do the same thing. This is how I realize how mentally sick most of the black females are. And they have no idea what they're raising. And tomorrow you are going to get surprised when those black sons are now dealing with your daughter being the victim now. A lot of black women in America, they're beyond ignorance sometimes. Beyond dumb. It's like an advanced, it's like someone who's suffering from hyper advanced ignorance, an ignorant level beyond reason, beyond human imagination. Majority of black women in America, they suffer from higher level of ignorance beyond human being can imagine. Beyond, it's beyond human being. It's like you don't expect it. That's what the shocking part. You would think someone who's been raised in America, a country such a developed, rich, wonderful nation like America, you would get at least wise and knowledgeable people. In America, that's not the case. Majority of black people are very dumb, particularly black female, super dumb. And you raise these children you are raising. I was watching black women themselves, black women to black women. I can't believe you've got a unity of ignorance. Black women versus another black woman, they don't even treat each other well. You are busy blaming black men, but let's put black men aside. A black woman versus another black woman in America, you are extremely brutal to each other. Despite being women, you are very, very brutal. I don't even want to watch any black related shows in America. whether it's these live shows or what. I don't, because if you watch a black woman versus another black woman, the brutality towards the black women within themselves in a lot of American talk shows, it's quite shocking. And then you go on the media talking about how black men, oh, they've got lower standards. Just look at the degeneration of black females themselves. Just before you even go to a black man, just look at a black woman versus another black. You're extremely brutal. Sometimes I don't want. I have never ever watched a movie in which I see black women. I don't watch a movie in which I see black women in America. I don't. I've actually stopped watching anything. I used to watch a lot of music where I see black women, black men, a lot of hip hop music. I stopped that 10, 15 years ago. I don't watch anything I see black people, black women especially inside. It's all garbage nowadays. It's all about booty shaking, wildness, jungleness. Completely, I stopped watching anything. Anything I see a black female inside, I don't watch. Everything, whether it's a hip hop or what, I stopped a long time ago. I ended watching anything related to black people back in the day. When I used to, the black man I used to love the most was Tupac Shakur. He was more honest. He was the most honest black man in America. It was very real. He's the pretty much only black man I respected in America to the present day. I've never respected or liked any black person in America after Tupac Shakur. You know what I'm saying? He's the only black man I respect 100%. But black women in America, they're quite shocking. You demand standards and say, well, I want a black man to have this. You will never. Ask yourself, the people you demand in America, you are demanding these standards to black men. I want a black man with these standards. I want a black man who's 6-point-something foot high with a briefcase full of millions of dollars. Where do you think you're going to get a black man like that? Did you raise a black man like that? A lot of you black women, you need to ask yourself, did you raise the black man you are demanding? Because every black man in America was raised by a single black woman. So ask yourself, as a group of black women, did you raise what you are demanding? If the answer is no, then you shut the hell up. You shut the hell up. You cannot demand what you did not raise. If you put a cornfield, don't go and expect sugar cane in a cornfield. You put a cornfield, you expect corn, maize corn. A lot of you black females, sometimes you surprise me. When you put these demands, did you raise those demands? The book says you reap what you sow. Don't demand what you did not introduce. Okay? On the planet Earth, you reap what you sow. On this planet, you marry what you raise. You don't marry what someone else have risen. Just like what you see in America. A lot of black women in America, you love what another woman have risen, not you. You like what another. In fact, you should thank Caucasian females and Asian females for raising the type of males you yourself are envying and lusting for, especially nowadays. Your own, what you raise yourself, thugs that are locked up on the street, because you yourself were raised like that. Pretty much you were raised by a mother who was a hood rat. Most of you are raised by hood rats, gangbangers, sluts, whores, and this is the condition which is raising black people. And you see that all black people come from things like that. In America, a lot of them come from things like that. I was talking to another black man, about 6 of them in America, in New York. I think it was a place called Queens. And I've seen other black men. One is like, he had no father. And there were 6 of them. None of these black men had father. They said, what about you? You have risen by a father? I was like, no. What about you? No. All 6 black men who were around, none of them had their father. None of them, they both were raised by black women. But then the question becomes, if I was a black woman myself, if I was a black woman, I would make sure that what I'm raising is good enough for someone else. Majority of you black females, what you are raising is very dangerous for other black women or black men. What you are raising is very dangerous for other black women or black men. If you ask a black woman in America, who have got children, particularly boys, would you advise any other black woman to date those boys? Or you would think, wait a minute, I think my children are most black women in America, you know the condition and the status of your children. Because black boys are easy to see, especially between the age of, above the age of 9. They're easy to see whether the, toxic energy. You can easily see for boys. Even black women, majority of black females you see today, some of them are extremely thugs, man. They're not only thugs, they're extremely violent. Black females who are born today in America, they are more violent than men, than a lot of black men. A lot of black females of today, reason in America, they're extremely violent. The only reason why a lot of black women they don't get shot like black men do is because they're female. That's the only thing which is saving them. Their behavior, if they were men, they would get the same, they'll be shot the same way as black men. The only reason black women are not killed as such in America is because they're women. Their behavior, that is violent as men, or even worse. In some black females are 10 times worse. You know what I'm saying? The only thing which is saving them, the females, people see, even police officers will come in and say, well, it's a violent black female. If that was a man or a black man, then he would get a bullet. But because black women are being saved by their gender, that behavior is extremely toxic and violent. They're being saved by their gender. That's all. You see what I'm saying? So if you ask yourself as a black woman, all your demands, you demand a black man to be this, you demand a black man to be that, I demand a black man to be 6 point something foot, I demand a black man to be this tall, to have this job, this type of money, and this character, and this attitude. Did you develop those attitudes? Did you develop those character you are demanding from black men? Did you? None of you will visit that. In fact, most of what you are raising, the chances are they're going to end up dead, locked, shot, killed somebody, or anything like that. That is what you are really raising on the street. That is exactly what you're raising on the street. In fact, you are raising something which, if I was to ask you, would you advise any other black woman to date your son? Most of you black women will be like, is your son a thug or a gangbanger or something like that? Most of you black women will be like, I think my son is not good. I think it's up to no good. Chances are, already your son is toxic energy. You see what I'm saying? He's a sort of like a prisoner who's out of bail. Or waiting to get inside. CIPs, conceived in prison. Majority of black women, this is what I always say to these black women. What you are raising up, would you advise what you are raising, what you gave birth, would you advise another black woman to date what you have raised? Majority of you black women, ask yourself, are your sons you are raising good enough? Because you are raising these black boys on your own. No black man is coming and making your black sons thugs. You yourself are raising those thugs on your own, independently. Now, before we talk about that, 90% of men globally are raised by their mothers anyway. 90% of men are raised by their mothers. Why is that 90% of black men in Africa are raised by black women? 90%, it's actually black men in Africa are raised by black women more in Africa than in America. In Africa, it's culturally for a female to raise a man. It's a culturally for black female to raise children in Africa. It's a culture. Black women in Africa don't complain and say we are raising effect. They claim that is their job to raise children in Africa. Black women, they claim that is their job. So it's an expectation. They themselves solely claim that they are the ones who raise children in Africa. Black men in Africa are only there to mentor, to mentor and give directions to children. But the one who raised them and give the children the culture, the knowledge and all that is the black mother in Africa. The only presence of a black man is to support. That's what they do in Africa, is to support and mentor and give children pride and name and say, you belong to this tribe. You belong to this tribe because I'm this tribe. You belong. Mentor culture and put the pride. That's the job of black men, to mentor the children and put the culture and the pride and the name and say you belong to this clan or this race or this tribe. That's what they do. But the raising and the children, 99% of the modeling of a child has come from the mother. 99%. It doesn't surprise why everywhere you go globally, the courts always allocate children to the mother, because it's just a natural. She's the one who gives birth. But then when you look at the difference between what is raised in America, it's because the majority of black women, I've noticed in America, when I went to America, 90% of them have got no moral. What they demand, they don't have. Stop demanding a standard when you yourself are like hood rat, or you yourself don't have that kind of standard. You see, I have seen a lot of black women demanding that women today, you need to understand one thing, black women there. Stop demanding the standard you yourself don't have. You don't have a standard. So stop wasting time demanding what you yourself don't have. You don't have standards, and I wouldn't want someone to demand what they themselves don't have. You have no standard at all. So stop demanding, and you don't introduce any standard to your children. And then you just expect your children to come out with huge superpowers of standard to take care of you. No. I was looking at majority of black men in America. They were saying that when they were raised up, they pretty much know nothing until some of them would know they have no sense of what's good and right until they're locked up in prison, until the judge starts putting life in them. No one has ever told them, you can't do this. No, you can't do this. This is wrong. This is the consequences. No, a lot of black men find themselves when they're locked up. They only realize like, this is a consequence when the judge is like, life. That's the only time they start sinking in like. But at home, no black women at home. Because I cannot talk about black men who are not there already. You're only on there. I cannot talk about the fathers who are, majority of them are not there. But then we're dealing with who is there. If you don't say certain things to a child when they're young, forget about what they will be as an adult. Most of you black women demand what you didn't introduce to your children. You demand you come and say a black man should be this, a black man should be that. You never raised those type of black men. Okay? You should look at President Obama. Obama to be like what he was, to be a man of his stature, it was a white female. It was a white female mother who raised them. This is why a lot of black women, they lasting for these white men, because it's a white woman's job to raise them. She raised those type of men you black women are lasting for today. So you've got a lot to thank white females, a lot to thank white women. In fact, you should pay white women for every white man you date. You should pay a white woman. You say, you made a good job. If you yourself are raising thugs, you are raising thugs. Just like, not only that you are raising thugs, you are raising also sluts, hood rats, whores. This is what it's in the ghettos in America. This is what you are raising. And so when you come, especially it's funny when someone comes and demands a standard they don't have. They themselves don't have. You see, majority of black women, they're extremely picky when it comes to black men. I want a black man to be like, I want a black man. You never raise that type of black man. So forget. In fact, if you say a black man with what you like, chances are he doesn't like you. Any black man you see with everything you like, 99% of those black men will never like you. If you say I like a black man with a lot of money, with this and this and that, a lot of money like Tiger Woods, that chances are he's not into you. He's not going to like you. If you like a black man who's 6.5 foot high with 20 or 50 million or whatever in their accounts, 9 out of 10 they won't pick you. They choose a different type of a woman altogether. Any black man with what you want, he's not gonna come to you. That any black man with what you want, chances are he's going to choose a different type of a woman. Completely different type of a person, not you. So you need to understand, you need to be true to yourself. Not only true to yourself, you need to be true to the reality, to your own reality. Okay? You better be real with what you are. Stop demanding what you did not raise. If you cook rice, you will eat rice. You don't cook rice and then you expect pizza. It doesn't work like that. I was looking at a lot of black females saying, demanding, saying, black men should do this, black men should do that. You didn't raise those type of black men. Better shut up. You didn't raise those. You didn't. And you yourself are raising thugs. You are raising sluts, whores, and hoodrats. Creatures which are producing the thug type of black men type. The thug, the gangbangers are produced by the hoodrats, who are again the product of single motherhood. There's a problem within single motherhood in America anyway. Single motherhood in America, they're more sluttish, hoodrats, pretty much violent, nasty females. But then single motherhood in Africa, they're completely decent, down to earth, normal, cultural, pretty much completely low energy, warm and clear. So you cannot, a single motherhood of an African female and a single motherhood of a black American are completely different. One is very violent, thuggish, sluttish, and in Africa, more decent, more loyal, more understanding, cultural, nurtured, and all this stuff. It's because of their grandmothers. You go to Africa there. Have you ever heard the word that your mother didn't raise you properly? Why is that people always pin the mothers? Globally, no one says, well, your father didn't raise you properly. Everybody always say, your mom didn't raise you properly. Even if you go to Africa, they will say, your mother didn't raise you. If you behave badly, mother didn't do any good job. They never say father, even if the father is there. They always say, mother didn't do everything job. Stop demanding what you yourself did not raise you. You reap what you sow. You cannot expect a black man to be what you yourself did not raise him to be. Okay? You did not raise him to be. This is why an animal which is domesticated faces problems when you just throw him into the wild. Why? Because it was never raised to be wild. If you domesticate an animal, you find that animal will have problems in the wild. You see what I'm saying? Because the way you raise that animal is going to be exactly what it will be in its future. If you domesticate an animal and throw him into the wild, he's going to face problem. But the one who was raised in the wild know all the corners of the jungle. They know all the corners of the jungle. They know how to deal with creatures. They know how to hunt. They know where to hunt, which time, which season, which period, where to go. They know all of that. But they were raised in the same to know all of that. The one which you raise domesticated, you find they're incapable of dealing with the wild. You see, it's the same principle. Domesticated animals and non-domesticated animals, you will see their behavior is different because of the way they are raised. You see what I'm saying? Majority of you black females, when I look at black women, I laugh to myself and say, these people, their IQ level mentality here is the level of a chicken, pretty much lower than of a chicken, because they've never looked at themselves from the outside. They're just looking at themselves from the inside out. All this, all that, all this, they're not looking from the outside how the world is looking at them and why they're creating things which backfires them. You see, you're creating things which backfires. Like I said, you must raise something you yourself want, not something you don't like. Majority of black females in America themselves are not good, so they're not going to raise good children. They themselves are not good. They've got a lot of demonic issues, a lot of black women. As a result, they can't raise the type of As a result, they can't raise not only the type of black males they want, they can't raise the type of black females they like. They raise black women. Black women raise the black daughters who are pretty much monsters in their behavior. So I've seen black women complaining about black men, but then I watch black women versus black women. My God, worst nightmare. Especially in America, you look at these, reality talk shows of black females. They're extremely brutal to each other, man. Some of them you think these ones, they look pretty, they're much decent, but look at their behavior when they're behaving towards each other. Black women, it's wild. The brutal and so wild. You are like, who's raising these females? They're raising each other. A black female raise another black female to be extremely the same way. If a black woman is a hood rat, she's going to raise hood rat's children. She's going to raise hood rat's females. She's going to raise the beast type females who are like wildebeests, and these wildebeests will raise other wildebeest type females, and that's what you're raising. So stop demanding what you yourself did not raise. Stop expecting a banana tree when you plant a mango tree. Stop expecting a banana from a mango tree. You reap what you sow. Okay? Even Jesus said, don't go and fetch for the living among the dead. You see, he's right. Because all this concept applies to the nature of a lot of black females in America. Don't demand standards you don't have, you did not even introduce or build to your sons. Most of what you're demanding, most of the so-called black males in America, they don't even know or have a clue of what you're demanding. They were never raised to have that. Most of them, they were never raised. They don't even know at all. If you speak with them, they don't even know. I've spoken with a lot of black men in America. I've seen that the majority of them have no clue. You see what I'm saying? All they know is the street life, the thuggy street life, gang banging and things like that. And you think, oh my God, are these going to be capable of being fathers in the future? The answer is no. Sadly, they're going to meet other hood rats and the other females who are raised, not to be good mothers, not to be good, carers. They're going to meet each other. They're going to be matched. A thug is going to meet a hood rat. A gangbanger is going to meet a hood rat with a bigger booty, and they'll make a child like that. That's the situation in America. A thug is going to grow up, find another hood rat or a slut or a booty shaking whore, and then they mingle and make a baby. That's what it is. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of black females are exactly, that's the condition there. That's the 80% majority. That's the sad part of it. Is that the sluttish hood rats, most of the bad, the spoiled fruits of black people are majority. The good ones are less. The hood rats, thugs, pimps, whores, sluts, that's the 80%. So fetching for the remaining 10% or 20% is a task which most people is just like, nah, it's not gonna work. But like I said, stop this mentality of putting a standard we don't have. In fact, if you look at the black women in America who talk about standards, women, when a man looking at a woman, we don't apply any standards, because there is no guarantee whether a black woman is rich, educated, whether she's rich, educated or poor. There is no guarantee that she's not gonna sleep around. There is no guarantee that she's not gonna sleep with your brother or your father, or there is no guarantee. When men are looking at women, we don't put standards. We look at a woman has to be pretty, nice ass, nice booty. Why do we look at things like that? Even a woman, you could have you could have a good job, you could have a lot of money like Oprah. We're not going to look at things like that, because everything of that nature does not guarantee to a man. It's not going to guarantee a black woman having a good job or a lot of money. It doesn't guarantee that she's not going to cheat you. It doesn't guarantee that she's not going to sleep around. It does not guarantee that she's not going to sleep with your friends. It does not guarantee that she's not going to sleep with your brother or even your father. It does not guarantee that she's going to be good to your children. It does not guarantee that she's not going to give a PJ to some of your friends. There's no guarantee. That's why men don't put standard when it comes to women. We just go for females. They must at least have a bigger booty and things of that nature. Something we're going to enjoy. Because the reality is putting those, artificial standards and say, well, a woman is to, I need a woman, this money and things of that. None of that matters to a man. None, because it does not guarantee. It does not guarantee that you are going to be a good mother. A black woman who's educated in America, who's educated, has got a PhD degrees, diplomas, and all these other, it does not guarantee that she's going to be a good mother. No, it doesn't. There is no. That's the problem when men are looking at women. When we're looking at a woman, there is no guarantee that she's going to be a good mother. She's going to respect you. She's going to respect your friends. She's going to be a loyal, understanding black woman. Someone who you can say, well, I need this type of a woman at home. Something who's not going to give you worries in your heart. Women don't they don't come to men with those guarantees. That's why putting all these standards is rubbish for men. You see, imagine there is not the behavior in America of an educated black woman. An educated black woman and a slut, a hood rat, a rich black woman. It's the same. The behavior of a slut, a hood rat, a whore, a street hood rat, what they call hood rat, sluttish, and all these type of females. There is no difference in the black woman who's got a PhD degree or a diploma or an important job or a rich black woman in America. All of them behave the same. You can't tell who's black women's behavior in America. You can't tell who's more educated, who's this. All of them behave pretty much the same. That's why for men we cannot put a standard, because a standard does not guarantee anything to a man. That's why men, at the end of the day, a man can leave a woman who looks fine or with a good job and go to a slut on the street, because men can. There's no guarantee. There is no guarantee that it's similar. You see what I'm saying? A woman, it's similar for a man. A man is going to think, well, because she's got she's working in a good job, it doesn't necessarily mean she's not going to cheat on me. Pretty much it does. You see, people don't come with the standard that a woman who looks like this this is what she's going to guarantee you. No, that's why a lot of men don't have any labels when it comes to women. They don't have any labels. You know what I mean? We don't have those labels. Why? Because when it comes to women, they don't bring guarantees to a man. They don't. This is why it's easy for men to say. This is why a lot of men end up thinking it's better to have a nice female, a woman who listens to you, talks with you, you enjoy their company, and they're more nice to you and they understand it. That's it. That's what a man wants. A woman who's understanding to me, who I can sit at home and enjoy. Not someone who's a nightmare, pretty much a threat to me at home. No. That's too much for a black man, especially for black men. Women don't come with guarantees. You see what I'm saying? That's the problem. That's why a lot of men end up going for bigger booties and things of that nature, women's features and this and that. Because if we think of your money, your job, your this and this and that, you will never guarantee that is going to happen to our life. You could have a good job and still come and cheat on me. You could have $1 million, you could work in a good super whatever management job and still come and sleep with my friends. Or sleep with my brother, or sleep with my father. There is no guarantee, especially the lives we live nowadays. There is absolutely no guarantee that a woman is going to come. That's why for men, we can't put a standard. Our standard is simple. She has to look fine, nice ass, this and this, good company, good partner, listening, good. That's all. All these other external features of a woman is to have this kind of thing, this kind of no. The standard is she has to look fine, a nice booty, something I can enjoy at home, and that's it. Most men, they look at a woman's features and that's it. They don't demand any externalities, because there is no guarantee that a woman with a job,
a good job is going to treat me good. A woman with this standard, a woman who looks like this is going to give me this. There is no guarantee for men. So, we are not going to waste our time demanding anything which we know is not going to come to men. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to demand things we know already is not going to come from men, from any other woman. Men don't demand anything like that to a woman, because we know already that women are not going to, there is no guarantee. You could have a woman you like and she still will come and sleep with your brother or your father. The woman you really like, you could come and sleep with your father or your brother. Anything, she could look whatever. Life is no guarantees. And that's the problem. We learned this long time ago. This is why most men end up, wanting certain features. And that's it. They say, well, a woman looking like this, if she comes with a bigger booty, she's fine, I'm taking it. If she comes looking this size, I'm fine with her. A lot of men. Because we understand the issues long time ago, that people don't come with guarantees. If I want to be happy, I cannot put a standard or a label. In life, if you truly want to be married and happy, your standard, you have to be realistic and know that people don't come with standards. If you expect a standard, you're going to live disappointed. You're going to be disappointed for God, because people don't come with guarantees. You know what I'm saying? God didn't create Eve as a guarantee of being a real good to Adam. No, he just created a woman and throw her into the Garden of Eden, and look what Eve did to Adam. Costed Adam's life. There's no guarantee. God just created Eve in the Garden of Eden and chuck her down to meet with Adam, and look what happened to Adam. Costed Adam's life, because the female coming did not have guarantee to Adam that she was going to be good to him, she was going to be honest to him, she was going to be loyal. There was no guarantee of a woman's goodness to a man from the beginning. From the beginning. So having these wild expectations for men is wasting of time, because from the beginning the Bible tells you that a woman was never created with a guarantor. No, she was just designed and thrown into you. That's why for men, a lot of men find it difficult. They just look at a woman's looks, they go after them. They never expect anything, because if you expect, and expectations will bring disappointment. Expectations will bring serious disappointments. Those are the dangers of expectations. You see, so don't deal with human beings with a seal of an expectation in front. Because God never created that. The moment you try to put that, you are going against nature, you are going against what God's intention. And you will, not only that you will live disappointed, you will die a horrible death. Because you are now fighting against God himself. You will be in trouble. The rest of your life will be in trouble. Because God, there are reasons why God did not like standards put. He didn't like the standard put. Anytime a person puts standards, you are going to die a horrible death, because you are now dealing with nature. Your standard are something which is going to cost your life. You are going to cost your life. You are now fighting. You are not only dealing with men. You are fighting with the Messiah himself. You are putting yourself in the line, because God will start testing you now. He will start testing you like, I need to get rid of these people. The moment you put standard on human beings, you are in trouble. You are in trouble, because God never put standard. Adam did not say to God, give me a female like this. Give me this type of a female. No. He just found a woman created by God. In his sleep, he had no clue God was designing a woman. You wake up and someone is waiting behind you. Can you imagine you sleeping at home alone, and you woke up and the woman is just standing there, smiling. And you're like, who the hell are you? Who the hell are you? And you are alone in the entire jungle. And she's just standing, waiting there. That's what Adam had to face. And he took it from there. And the rest was history. So don't waste your time putting this, ridiculous standard. There's nothing called standard. There was never standard from the beginning. God did not create standard. So to hell with any standard you have. If you are a standard type girl, you will suffer disappointment. If you are a standard type man, you will suffer disappointment, because God does not like standard. God prohibits standard. On earth, on this planet, there is no standard. Life comes with no guarantees. Goodbye.